Kilo and Shell. Welcome back to Culture Shock with Shops. Yeah, here we go again. Thank you for watching, and thank you for watching all my previous videos. Be sure to share and subscribe to this channel where I talk about Africa and black people generally. You can check the About tab to know more about this channel where we talk about black people and black empowerment, how we can help the black culture progress. So I started a video about a week now titled how much do you know about Africa and Africans, and this is going to be part 2, and it might extend to part 3 and part 4, who knows, but let's see how it goes. So last time I was finishing the video and I talked about the richest black man in the world. So before I go into talking about the richest black man in the world, I want to talk about this event that happened, or this program that happened, I believe it was last year. It was last year in Ghana. It's called the Year of Return. The Year of Return is the government of Ghana, a West African country, that was encouraging black people to come back home because, you know, black people were taken from the West African ports, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, and all those countries. Black people were taken from there primarily to the New World, which is America, England, and they ended up in Caribbeans, all over the place. So the government of Ghana is encouraging people to come back, and it's an amazing event. It's an amazing program that a lot of celebrities from America went back home to see, you know, the slave ports where people were taken through ships to other parts of the country. So I need you to check the link below this video to know more about that Year of Return. And I will just say a little bit about those that went back, you know. And here are the names. Idris Elba went back, Boris Kodjoe, Naomi Campbell, Anthony Anderson, Kofi Kingston, Steve Harvey, Cardi B, T.I., Ludacris, Rick Ross, Akon. Anyway, Akon is in Africa already. I believe Jay-Z, Michael Jai White, a lot of people, a lot of you know, American celebrities went back home to see what's going on. But here is what I want to say. It's not only about visiting Africa, going back home, seeing the slave ports, you know. There's this place, different parts. You see, you know, histories all over there. So it's not just about going and visiting Ghana and seeing all that. Are you investing in Ghana? That's the question. Are you being part of what the resources that Africa is releasing? I'm going to talk about one mineral. It's called cobalt. That's 50% of it is produced in the DRC, that is Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm going to talk about that material. So those celebrities that are going back, are they connecting with Africa economically? Are you connecting with Africa economically? Are you benefiting? Because I tell you, the whole world is benefiting from Africa. The Chinese is going to Africa now to connect with African government to exploit. Anybody going to Africa that is not African, don't tell me you love Africa, that's why you're going to Africa. No, you're going there because you want to get part of the riches. You want to exploit Africa. So how much more those of us, those black people that are in diaspora, in America, in Britain, in France, all over the place, that fourth generation maybe of slave, you've been descendants of our brothers and sisters that were taken from Africa. Africa belongs to you. If you go to visit Ghana, start to look for ways to benefit from the riches of that land, and either through investment, so that it be a win-win situation, so that you know, Africa will benefit, even your family and people back here will benefit. It's all about black people. How can black people benefit from us going back to Africa? So that's what I'm talking about. So the Year of Return shouldn't just be you going, seeing the Africa, oh, this is where they took our people, these are our forefathers, like, you know, these the chains and all that. No. You need to now invest. You need to connect. Other people are taking the wealth of Africa. It is unbelievable. Now Africa has not only natural resources, but human resources. So that's what I have to say about that Year of Return. The link to that Year of Return on Wikipedia is in this video. Then also some YouTube videos where you see, I think Jay-Z was there, Cardi B, all kind of, celebrities that went there. You see their videos, how they landed at the airport, how they were received, and every amazing and nice things that happened. So now I'm going to go to the richest black man in the world. Africa is portrayed in the Western world as a place, like a forest where people live on trees, people live on huts and all that. But I told you in my last video that Africa is not like that. Africa is a rich place. Though there's poverty, there's corruption. And how did this poverty and corruption come about? You need to read the history. You now have to ask yourself about the colonialists, the people that colonized Africa, how they were able to divide and rule Africa, and how they were able to use one African tribe against the other African tribe. And before you know it, they are fighting each other like we have in the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. That nation has been independent for over 40 years now, but there has never been peace there. Why? Because the colonial masters there keep these people fighting one another while the wealth, natural resources of that land is stolen, is exploited. But that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about how black people can empower themselves. I'm not talking about hating somebody, hating one race or that. No. You have to help yourself. That's what I believe that black people have to do. When somebody does something evil to you, don't consume yourself with what they did to you. Don't consume yourself with what you want to do back to them. No, consume yourself with how to develop yourself. You become a formidable force that nobody can touch you in the future. All right, so I'm going to talk about the richest black man in the world in this video. His name is Aliko Dangote. He's a Nigerian. Okay, Nigeria has come up with a lot of bad press all over the place. But I'm going to tell you this. In every country in the world, there is the good, there is the bad, there is the ugly. So in UK, there is the good, the bad, the ugly. In India, there is the good, the bad, the ugly. In America, there is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So Nigeria has been portrayed in bad light recently, but guess what? The richest black man in the world is from Nigeria. The second richest black man in the world is from Nigeria. Not even America. Okay, so I'm trying to say this now, that black people, we have to understand that we are one, number one. Then number two, they say Africa is a dark continent, Africa is this, Africa is that. Okay, there's black people all over the world. In America, which is the richest country in the world, the richest country in the world, one of the most advanced countries in the world, where there's amenities, there's social security, there's banks, there are different kind of things. The system is working. UK, the system is working. All over the place, the system is working. You have support system in, different ways. But Africa, for example, Nigeria, lacks a lot of social amenities. Yeah, a lot of social things, lacks so many things. So how come, out of those kind of environment, how come those kind of society, the richest black man on earth emerges? How does the richest man on earth emerges? The second richest man on earth emerges from those society environment of lack. Dangote is estimated to worth $10 billion, according to Forbes. He's on the Forbes richest, richest black people on earth. How come they're able to come out of those places where there is lack? Why not the richest black man or the second richest black man from America? Why not the richest black man or the second richest black man or black woman from UK? That tells you that the black man, the DNA of the black people is enduring. We can go through a lot of stuff and still come out victorious. So some of us in America feel like, because I'm black, I can't do this, I can't do that. Okay, you see people in America that are making it. We have wonderful, amazing families that are rich. I know people that are worth millions of dollars, African American families. They're all over the place, they're doing well. But for the most part, a lot of our black people are still, part of the most impoverished people in America. But the hope is to tell you that if those in Africa that don't have nothing, one of them can become the world's richest black man. The second one, his name is is what's his name now? I'm gonna check. His name is Mike Adenuga. Mike Adenuga is actually from my village in Africa. I'm from Ijebu-Ode. Mike Adenuga is from Ijebu-Ode. He's the second richest black man in the world. So like I was saying in the other video that I come from a wealthy, I was born into wealth. I was trying to explain to us that don't believe those things that is coming out of the media that all we have in Africa is poverty and sickness. Then some people are tricking you to get your hard-earned money to go and give to somebody in Africa that have not eaten for a year. There are so many companies, there are so many individuals that are tricking people and scamming people, saying they want to help Africa. But the whole of Africa is not poor, the whole of Africa is not hungry. So Aliko Dangote is the richest black man in the world. You need to, I will put the link to Aliko Dangote in the comment under this video. So people can say, oh, how did he get his money? He's corrupt or whatever. Come off it. Forbes reported that he's the richest black man in the world. Is there any country in this earth that there's no corruption? But I understand that it's to varying degrees. But there's no country, there's no people that are not corrupt in the world right now. So how come the black man, the richest black man, come from Africa? That is to tell us that Africa has something. And these videos, this series of videos I'm doing is to encourage our black people, African Americans, to say, you need to connect with your roots. You need to connect with back home to be able to know what are the things. Like Nipsey also in my previous video, in the part 1, until he connected to his root, he found his sense of purpose. And another thing is, I'm going to say this. I have an older brother in the UK. He told me something. He said there's something that the wealthy people, the aristocrats in the UK, and the people in the royal family do. You will notice that when their kids, when their sons and their daughters get to a certain age, they send them to Africa. They send them to Africa to do humanitarian work. They sent them to Africa to go and do philanthropic work, to go and feed the hungry or do this, do that, or go to see the wildlife and all that. They send them over there to do such things. They even send their children into the army. Prince Harry, I think, Prince Harry went to the army or something like that. This is a system these people use to humanize their children, to make them be humble. How do you think these rich people, these aristocrats, are able to maintain their rulership of the masses through the ages? You will notice that the people in the royal family, they have a kind of like calm demeanor. They have this kind of attitude that they are able to relate with people that are downtrodden. But a lot of people, I would say a lot of people, a lot other people that, for example, people that don't have this understanding, they just spoil their children. They spoil their kids. When they grow up, the kids grow up, they don't understand what it means not to have. So they become arrogant, they become, nasty to people and all that. So what am I trying to say? These people do this to maintain that level of class. Our black people, we need to understand that you are in America, you enjoy social services, social security, you get food stamps, you get this, you get that. Because you live in that plenty, access to plenty, you become spoiled. You become spoiled and you take these things for granted. You take everything around you for granted. You can talk on your phone. If you know how much people pay to talk on the phone in Africa. In my country, for you to talk on the phone, here we pay our bill every month. You pay your bill and you can talk on your phone for 4 hours. But over there, you pay to talk. They call it pay as you go, I think. You pay to talk. So when you pay, you buy 5 minutes of talk time. By the time you talk for 5 minutes, your phone is cut off. You have to buy another talk time, 10 minutes like that. That's how people pay for phone. They are being exploited. So people here, that's what Nipsey also did. He went back to Africa. He saw the lack. He saw how people are able to survive. There's so much ingenuity in Africa. Do you know that Africa now is possessing an emerging market when it comes to IT and development and stuff like that? That's why Facebook has an office in various cities in Africa, including Lagos. Google has an office in Lagos because there is the human resource of the IT industry that is coming fast, it's coming strong, it's coming as fast as India, as we have it in India, because the people there having so much lack of amenities, having so much lack of things we take for granted here, they become ingenious. They're able to come up with things. You know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. So part of the reason why you need to connect back with your root is for you to understand the value of the things that we take for granted here, and it will give you a sense of purpose. So that is Dangote. I'm going to talk about another person from back home that my father shared his story with me when I was, about age. I was maybe in my early 20s. I went to visit my father, and he told me, he took me back actually to my village and showed me about this man who has been, this family that has been millionaires since the early 20s. Because we feel like, that misconception of poverty in Africa. Yeah, there's poverty, but there's also a lot of wealth. So my dad took me around and showed me about this man this family that has been millionaires since the early 20s. So I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about other things in the next video. I'm also going to talk about the founder of Twitter, the Twitter that we have today. How the founder of Twitter said he's going to Africa to live there for 3 months. Is he going because he loves Africa? No, far from it. He's not going because he loves Africa. He's going because he wants to have an economic advantage. He wants to make money. He wants to exploit what is in Africa. So I'll be talking about all that, and watch my next video. That's part 3 of this. How much do you know about Africa and Africans? See you in the next video, and thank you for watching. This is Culture Shock with Charles. Bye.